What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Sean O'Malley talks Cheito Vera fight. Sean O'Malley is right. If it weren't for O'Malley becoming the UFC Bantamweight champion, Marlon Cheito Vera wouldn't be getting a title shot. Vera is the only fighter to beat O'Malley in the UFC. At UFC 252, a leg kick severely damaged O'Malley's mobility, and Vera was able to secure a TKO victory over Sugar Sean with 20 seconds left in the first round. Since Vera beat O'Malley, Cheito has a 5-2 record in the octagon, with losses to former interim title challenger Cory Sandhagen and former bantamweight champion Jose Aldo. While O'Malley's urging is likely to have played a hand in the UFC's decision, this isn't a case where the UFC allowed O'Malley to grant a rematch. UFC CEO Dana White is looking to make the move that makes the most sense for business. Having O'Malley seeking revenge for his only loss at UFC 299 in Miami made the most sense to try and draw eyeballs to the product.
Of course, is if you weren't champion, would he be getting this title?
0% chance. They're like, yeah, I mean, there's guys deserve, Cory, Merab, like you could argue those guys deserve a title fight over Cheito. It's just, you know, this is, I went out there, knocked out the greatest bantamweight of all time. I said, hey, I just want one thing. Let me have the Cheito rematch. I've never asked for it. Never really asked for anything. You know, let me have this Cheito fight. I knew, I didn't know. I thought, and I was like, okay, you know, we'll meet again. I never went to bed at night thinking, well, I have to fight Cheito again. I'm like, if he can make it, get close enough to where I can offer him a title fight, just get close enough. Beat Pedro. You know, I'll give you the rematch. So,
since losing to Vera, O'Malley has won 5 of his 6 fights, including by knockout or TKO. The interesting thing is that O'Malley brings up beating Pedro Munoz as a way to show that Vera is title ready. O'Malley does not have a win over Munoz. When the two men met at UFC 276 in July 2022, O'Malley and Munoz's fight ended as a no contest, following an eye poke in the second round. When O'Malley finally got his title shot at UFC 292 against Aljamain Sterling, he was coming off a controversial split decision victory over former champ Peter Yan. O'Malley has a lot of respect for Cheito's abilities.
I think Cheito's a cold-blooded killer. I don't think it's going to faze him that he's being gifted this title shot. Do I think he knows that?
But O'Malley also feels that Vera owes him a debt of gratitude for agreeing to this fight. It should make for a fun grudge match. Next up, let's take a look at Justin Gaethje gets exposed by a former UFC fighter. Chael Sonnen is a colorful MMA personality. Regarding his work in the octagon, Sonnen's legacy is akin to Billy Kahn's in boxing. Sonnen is best known for folding in the final round of a champion fight and getting caught for being over-aggressive in his pursuit of victory. But Sonnen's gift of gab still has many people interested in what he has to say on contemporary fights. When it comes to the Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje bout for the BMF title at UFC 300, Sonnen doesn't agree with how many people view how things could go down. Henry Cejudo believes Gaethje, a former lightweight interim champion, will have more power than Holloway, the former featherweight champ, can handle. But Holloway has a notoriously tough chin and is not likely to fold under pressure. Holloway even challenged for the interim lightweight championship at one point, losing a razor-thin decision to Dustin Poirier. Recent training videos Holloway posted show that he's already added weight. Sonnen recently analyzed what he thinks could happen on his YouTube channel.
But it was a very interesting point that Henry's trying to make, which is Henry believes in a pure stick'em contest that Justin Gaethje can outpoint, can outscore, can outdamage Max Holloway. Do you agree with that? Justin doesn't have the reach, he doesn't have the speed, he doesn't have the combinations, though very close. Justin does have more lower body attacks. He does have more significant strikes below the belt, but generally you need the reach to have those be effective. It's a talking point. It's worth considering.
Holloway has never been knocked out in his 32 professional fights. Gaethje, despite having an NCAA wrestling pedigree, is more comfortable on his feet striking. Gaethje has seen 20 of his 25 victories end via knockout. This one shouldn't. Much like Sonnen said, Holloway presents Gaethje with issues he may not be prepared for. Next, let's take a look at Khabib reveals shocking news. Khabib Nurmagomedov is never going to fight in the UFC again. Most people have already made peace with this. But that won't stop promoters from trying to lure Khabib back in order to do big business for a pay-per-view card. Khabib said that he knows people reached out to his agent about appearing at UFC 300, but the former lightweight champ has sworn that he'll never fight again.
We have deal, you know, like directly with me nobody connect, but I know with Ali connect some people from UFC, but you know, it's like, you know, I told already once, and I told like a lot of time was for all these people who try to bring me back, like I decide this 2020 October, it was my last fight and I will never change this.
Khabib wrapped up a dominant career at UFC 254 when he submitted Justin Gaethje to improve 29-0 overall and 13-0 in the UFC. But Khabib's father had died shortly before the fight. Khabib's mom had asked him not to fight again, but he said he wanted to do one more fight before retiring. Fighting without his dad in his corner was rough for Khabib. He still secured a second-round submission victory, but promised his mom he was done. Khabib says that's a promise he will not break for any amount of money. Now let's shift gears and take a look at Jorge Masvidal breaks silence on Nate Diaz. Jorge Masvidal is no longer an active fighter. Now, he's an active promoter with Gamebred FC, a bare-knuckle MMA organization. But Masvidal, a former welterweight UFC title challenger, is still seeking out another UFC veteran, Nate Diaz, to set up a championship. Masvidal went in person to Stockton, California recently to seek out Diaz in person. The story of the trip sounds suspicious, but I suppose we have to take Masvidal at his word. Masvidal told MMA Junkie that he met someone who knew Diaz at a meat shop, but Masvidal also said that he knows Nate is a vegan. Regardless, Masvidal did not find Diaz, but said the butcher at the meat shop said he knew Diaz. So Masvidal left his number with the man and told him to have Diaz call him.
This dude, the butcher at the meat shop, swore he knew Nate and his peoples. So I was like, all right, maybe, I'm a gambler and all on this dude right here. I gave him my number. I said, bro, give it to Nate. I heard he's not good with the technology too much like myself. So we could arrange this.
Masvidal badly wants to arrange a fight with Diaz. Masvidal has not fought since he sucker punched Colby Covington in the parking lot of a Miami steakhouse in April 2023. Masvidal's last UFC fight was a decision loss to Gilbert Burns at UFC 287, but a potential fight with Diaz may be enticing enough to bring Masvidal back. If only he could find Diaz. Next, let's take a look at UFC fighters go back and forth. Brandon Royval has already lost to current UFC flyweight champion Alexandre Pantoja twice. However, following Royval's win over former champion Brandon Moreno, the American believes he should get another crack at the title. Royval sent out a recent message on X, criticizing the performance of undefeated prospect Muhammad Mokaev against Alex Perez. Mokaev leaned in on his wrestling to earn a 29-28 decision. But people were disappointed by Mokaev, who was not able to take advantage of holes in Perez's grappling game. In Royval's minority feud, Mokaev lost the fight. "This is y'all boys," laughs, Royval wrote. "Anyway, I'll be ready for UFC 201. LOL, Perez 29-28. Mokaev wasn't about to take the insult lying down. He shot back and welcomed the American to make the trip to England to settle their differences. Mokaev even compared Royval to the former training partner of Conor McGregor, Artem Lobov. "You got choked out by Pantoja, then 45-50 in the second fight," Mokaev wrote. "UFC coming to Manchester in July. Come fight me. I'm undefeated. You're 16-8 in your career, taking same route as Artem Lobov." If that's the route the UFC goes, the Manchester Watch should have a wild main event. Now, let's shift gears and take a look at Umar Nurmagomedov calls out Cory Sandhagen. Umar Nurmagomedov was supposed to get his big break last August. Nurmagomedov, the cousin of former UFC lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov, was set to fight former interim bantamweight title challenger Cory Sandhagen. However, Umar had to pull out of the fight due to a shoulder injury. Following a dominant return win over Begzat Almakhan last Saturday, Umar let everyone know he's ready to again put his 17-0 record on the line against Sandhagen.
I'm talk like that because I know what the job I did. I know other guys, what they doing. I know my team. And when I'm talking, I can smash and I can finish Petrian. I'm seriously, I can do this. When I'm talking about Cory Sandhagen and can finish him, I'm serious. Not because of I'm cocky or something like that. No, but guys, I have very good team. Look at our team. 2, 3, 4 guys lightweight division champions. Who else teams have like that? Nobody. Next, Cory Sandhagen, he talk about me like international day, fight international day, he wanna fight. Let's go. I'm ready. If he don't want somebody else, I don't care. I really don't care.
Sandhagen could use the boost that fighting an undefeated rising prospect could provide. During Sandhagen's last 3 bouts, he's come away with 3 victories to improve his record to 17-4. But to earn a shot at the crown, Sandhagen needs something else on his resume. Umar would like to grab a similar momentum shift a win could bring. Top comments. Patty is 1 loss away from turning into a Sage Northcutt. I actually love Dustin giving a young up-and-comer a shot. So many vets have that build-a-name mentality, without ever giving fresh blood a shot at building their name. Props to Dustin. New Zealand taxes anyone who fights there 50%. That's the embarrassing part. No way the UFC are using the Apex all the way until May. Dana keeps saying, we want to go everywhere, but doesn't go anywhere. Just like a fighter calling everyone out, but not fighting anyone. Next up, let's take a look at Tyson Fury sends a message to Francis Ngannou. Whether lineal heavyweight boxing champion Tyson Fury took his fight with former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou in October seriously or not, two things are clear. 1. Fury won in the ring, but Ngannou impressed everyone with his performance. And 2. Ngannou has plenty more opportunities in boxing as a result of that experience. The second point was one that Fury wanted to discuss when asked about Ngannou on the Stomping Ground podcast.
I'm not sure what people expected of the man before that. Do you know what I mean? I know it was supposed to be like 1,000 to 1 shot and he was useless and he couldn't fight and all that. But he proved everyone wrong, so fantastic for him. You know, I put him on the map, made him a multi-millionaire, and now I'm making him even more money. So he needs to thank me, he needs to get on his knees and kiss my feet, doesn't he? For what I've done for him.
Ngannou is getting ready to fight another former world champion, Anthony Joshua, this coming weekend in Saudi Arabia. While Ngannou stunned people in a split decision loss to Fury, he won't be able to sneak up on anyone this time around. What the fight with Fury provided was some tape for future opponents to study. The big question for Ngannou will be if he can adjust to remain competitive with another top boxer. Either way, Ngannou will likely avoid kissing Fury's feet. The MMA community reacts to Max Holloway's insane body transformation ahead of UFC 300. Max shared some footage of him training where he looks noticeably bigger than before, and some fans are speculating that he might be using PEDs now that USADA is gone. Here's what the MMA community had to say. Praying internally that this isn't the result of a bulk to lightweight, but rather the absence of USADA, and we can see a return of super soldiers to the cage. Juiced up Max is a new mythical fighter. I mean, USADA is out. He could be weighing like 177 fight night. Love Max, but Justin is going to destroy him. He's bigger, but his gas tank gonna be the same. He needs to beef up them legs for them nasty leg kicks Gaethje is going to send his way. WTF bro is actually massive. Yeah, I understand why he took the Gaethje fight. He's permanently moving up. Top comments. Khabib is 100% right. It should be Islam versus Justin Gaethje and Max versus Ilya. Paddy was never eager to fight Topuria. Topuria, on the other hand, was. Paddy would get killed by Topuria. Conor and Nate are both about 5 years past their expiry date. I actually agree with Khabib. Max is gonna get hurt badly. It's a terrible matchup. Max doesn't have the power to hurt Justin for one, and Justin hits like a truck. It's actually not a fair fight, and I love Max. I don't want to see him get hurt to a point he's never the same again. Make sure to leave a comment and you might get featured in our next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss any MMA news. Check out our video from yesterday if you missed it. See you tomorrow.